This shot tells a story that seems like the plot of a movie, but it really happened. Pictured is Joyce McKinney, a former beauty queen and winner of the Miss Wyoming pageant in 1973 after her arrest. In 1977, she kidnapped Mormon missionary Kirk Anderson, handcuffed him, and had sex with him for 3 days. An Iranian woman being buried up to her waist in the ground before being stoned to death for adultery, 1954. This is not a Nazi or a polite Chikatilo. This is not sodomy, but a patient at an orthopedic doctor's appointment. It's unclear what's wrong with such a swan-like back. And the orthopedic doctor grabbed a metal tool with his right hand, while doing something unclear with his left hand. A boy and girl in traditional wedding attire, taken during the final year of the Joseon dynasty, Korea, 1910. Captured 16-year-old German soldier at the end of World War II, 1945. Angry patient scrawls "liar" near a painless dentist sign, San Diego, 1920s. Majdanek death camp, 1944. Soviet soldiers stand before a massive pile of human teeth. Jacob Miller was shot in the head in 1863 and walked away. The bullet remained in his skull for decades. A seller of intimate wigs, New York, 1860. Prostitutes would remove hair from intimate areas to avoid pubic lice. Accessories like these helped them hide venereal diseases from clients. The first pubic wigs appeared for sale in the 1450s. Announcement of Mao Zedong's death, China, 1976. Medical students pose with cadaver during anatomy class, 1901. A woman on the beach shows the lifeguard why she sunbathes topless, but it turned out that the sign was intended for men. USA, New Jersey, 1939. Adolf Eichmann walks the yard of his prison cell in Ramla, Israel, 1961. The Korean War was a destructive conflict between North Korea, supported by China and the Soviet Union, and South Korea, backed by the UN and the USA. A 1951 photo shows Chinese soldiers kneeling before Korean troops, begging for mercy. Workers and 3 links of the anchor chain for the Titanic, 1910. Huge parts were handmade. The size of the ship was record-breaking for its time. Annette Kellerman modeling a swimsuit in 1907, later arrested for indecency. Actress Sophia Loren and her natural beauty in the 1960s. In this photo, children are building a pyramid out of stacks of banknotes. Germany, 1922. During the Zhengkai Marathon in China, elite Kenyan runner Jacqueline Nayatipe Kiplimo made an incredible decision that cost her the victory and a $10,000 prize. At the 10-kilometer mark, Kiplimo saw a disabled Chinese athlete struggling to drink water at a hydration station. Instead of racing ahead, she slowed down and ran alongside him for 28 kilometers, helping him drink at each station. This act of kindness cost her the lead, and she finished second, missing the prize money. Kiplimo later said, "I never regretted helping that person. I did it to touch someone's heart." Lester's ventriloquist dummy accused of killing 3 people, USA, 1924. During the performance, 3 elderly women died from laughter. When the police arrived, witnesses claimed it was the dummy speaking. The ventriloquist's lips didn't move. Lester was never proven guilty, but the dummy was taken into custody and a file opened on it. Children eat turnips and cabbage for Christmas because they have nothing else. Great Depression, USA, 1929. Woman in an electric bath at the Light Care Institute, 1900. Considered a precursor to the tanning bed, it was used therapeutically, with voltages reaching 50,000 volts. In 1938, London post offices allowed mailing ducks, rabbits, etc. ended when blood-stained packages started arriving. Los Angeles, 1957. Elderly woman inspecting Vicky Dugan's daring dress at a film award banquet. Dogs queue for coca leaf extract as part of an experiment, Peru, 1950. Soldiers celebrate the end of World War II, 1945. Postmortem photography, late 19th century. The mother and father are blurred, their daughter is not. She's dead, but they wanted to capture her as a memory. This stunning photo shows American cavalrymen of the early 20th century posing in front of one of the world's most famous trees, the giant sequoia, nicknamed the Grizzly Giant. This tree is located in the Mariposa Grove of Yosemite National Park and still exists today, standing as a living witness to centuries of history. USA 1900. The Hunter brothers inspect the engine during their 23-day non-stop flight, 1930. Gas mask parade, Tokyo, Japan, 1930s. This powerful 1970 photograph captures one of the most poignant protests during the Vietnam War. Veterans throwing their combat medals onto the steps of the Capitol in Washington under the slogan, "We won't fight in the war of the rich." More than 800 veterans threw their medals. Taking out garbage from an apartment where two brothers collected about 130 tons of junk. One of the brothers tried to crawl to his paralyzed sibling, but was buried by debris and died, while the other died of hunger. 1947. A beggar runs after the carriage of British King George V, 1920. Poverty drives the man so much that he competes with the royal horses in speed. Shantytown in Central Park, New York, 1932. The largest horse in the world, captured in 1927 in England, named Supreme. An enormous horse, 2 meters tall and weighing 1.5 tons, was as heavy as freight trains. Laika sent into space knowing she would die, followed by a letter to the UN from women in Mississippi demanding to condemn inhumane treatment of dogs and offering children as test subjects instead. Women cooking in a half-destroyed oven, Belarus, World War II, 1942. In 1901, in a small village in Japan, young girls looked after their younger siblings. In traditional areas, girls were raised and taught to care for children, even before they could give birth themselves. This is a common phenomenon in many regions of the world, even today, as in poor or traditional families. Other children looked after the younger ones so that the parents could work and feed everyone. There are no bananas there, buddy. Photo from 1968. An experienced photographer captured a funny moment when a chimpanzee peeks under a woman's skirt. Puritan protest against revealing swimsuits at a Florida beach, USA, 1985. Battleship Slava after the Battle of Moon Sound, 1917. Test pilot George Aird ejects from a Lightning F-1, jet moments before impact, Hatfield, England. All possessions of Mahatma Gandhi after his death, India, 1948. Telephone lines in New York, USA, 1903. A mother and son in Lisdoonvarna, Ireland. The boy holds a printed ballad, 1890. Los Angeles in the 1950s. Polio patients inside iron lungs. 1939, the ocean liner St. Louis returns to Europe after a rejected voyage to the US and Canada. On board, Jewish refugees seeking asylum after the start of World War II. They were denied entry. A men's beauty contest, USA, 1919. Serial killer Ed Kemper shows police where he dumped bodies. Acoustic locators from World War I, 1917 to 1940. In heads made of papier-mâché, during World War I. These heads were used to deceive enemy snipers. Interestingly, this technology was born out of desperation. In trench warfare, where the front lines barely moved for months, any trick could save dozens of lives. French and British troops actively used these mannequins, sometimes even tying them to sticks to simulate movement. However, by 1917, the Germans started recognizing the deception. Perfectly intact victims didn't fall after being shot. Vietnamese rice fields and gardens after a carpet bombing by the USA on B-52 planes, 1966. Let's compare the first telephoto lens to modern ones, 1900. Over time, donuts changed. The first female tractor driver in Uzbekistan, 1923. The photo symbolizes the massive social changes in the USSR. Women gained the opportunity to work in previously male-dominated professions. This photo is a testament to the new era and gender equality. Private John Drugan and his dog, Pal, in Okinawa, 1945. Pal saved a platoon by locating a hidden enemy machine gun nest. Marilyn Lovell, wife of Apollo 13 commander, reads front-page news, 1970. Confederate Army Captain Samuel Richardson in fashionable pants, 1860s. Strange retro dress, unknown year. German V, one rocket seconds before impact near London, 1944. Public toilet in Paris, France, 1875. Children build an improvised Berlin Wall, West Berlin, October 1961. Nurses carry children during gas mask drills, London Hospital, 1940. Duke Kahanamoku, the man who popularized surfing around the world, Hawaii, 1920. Japanese children enjoying fresh snow, 1950s. Motorcycle couriers wear gas masks to fight LA smog, USA, 1955. Atmospheric photo from the early 1900s shows urban transport of the time, a streetcar. It was an era when horses still pulled wagons along rails. Train interior over a century ago. A child's dream of an adventurous engineer. This remarkable photo captures an experimental scooter with a primitive jet propulsion system. 1931. The world had yet to know jet fighters or space rockets, but some enthusiast was already attempting to apply this technology for everyday commuting. Children from Giulia, a small village in the Apennine Hills, who had to cross the Panara River using a pulley and rope to get to school in the valley. Madden Province, Northern Italy, 1959. For this reason, bodyguards were assigned to the famous physicist, Albert Einstein and his bodyguards, 1940. Turkmen girls, late 19th century. Prettiest legs contest. Women wore pillowcases over their heads to keep the focus on their legs. U.S., 1951. A masquerade ball, Ball of the Illuminati, hosted by the Rothschilds in 1972. The French ocean liner Normandy burned and capsized at the pier in New York, 1942. A champagne inspector with a special mask to protect from accidental bottle explosions, California, USA, 1933. King George inspects tigers killed during the day, India, 1911. A shot from the coronation tour in India. Today the image is seen as cruel, but at the time, it was considered a sign of royal valor. Pilots on a flight simulator, Russian Empire, 1915. Social inequality, 1943. America was trying to recover from the Great Depression, and the class division in society was impossible to ignore. Just look at the expressions on these women's faces. They not only don't seem scared, but they are pretending that the poor woman on the right isn't there. In these century-old photos, you'll see indigenous Australians, armed, painted, and very dangerous. Yes, with spears, clubs, and boomerangs, they had little chance of resisting colonial expansion, but they tried. Man standing atop a Moai statue, Easter Island, circa 1936. These photos are a reminder that history isn't always pretty, but it's important to remember. If something surprised you, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe so you don't miss more forgotten stories. This was Ilya on Photo Prints. See you next time.